Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Welcome to the Nevermind podcast. Loreline here with us again. We are
what's in our background?
so excited. I found a really cool kind of like landscape background,
Oh,
but then I didn't realize that there was a giant like signature in the middle of it. So
oh.
now there's this really cool signature just hanging out there.
It's
So
just an extra little accent piece to our logo.
yeah. So shout out to whoever made this picture. I found it off Google Images. So yeah.
Thanks, Google.
Thanks, Google. Um, so this is episode 29, which means the next episodes we're going to be hitting 30.
Oh my gosh,
And
30. This is only downhill from there.
uh, yeah, I'm 28 years old. She's making a joke that I'm almost 30.
Hey, I'm not that far behind you, okay? I'm only a few months behind you.
I'm actually really surprised that we got this far. But we're going to keep it going. We're going to go as far as we can. Hopefully we can hit 50 episodes. Anyways, guys, the title today is really long. But I was just sitting there and I was thinking, is Trump going to build a wall around space? Is he going to build a wall around Earth to keep real aliens out of Earth? Is the government still shut down?
The government is still shut down. However, I don't know if it's Trump personally or just the White House has directed the IRS to continue doing tax returns and all of that. Because normally in a government shutdown, the IRS is not, people working at the IRS are not getting paid either.
Yeah.
So they're basically being told, you guys have to work for free so that our citizens still get their tax return. Because basically, you know how much our country would be screwed. We would be as screwed as the United Kingdom is right now with Brexit. As far as people, like, we would have like an economic.
Do you think it's because a lot of people went online and they're like, Trump gonna get it if we don't get our tax returns?
No, I don't think it's anything to do with online.
And so they turned around and they're like, hey, you guys gotta work for free.
I think a lot of it has to deal with too is if you think about Trump being he likes to portray that he's super rich. I mean, he's richer than you or I, but he probably gets like a huge tax break with taxes too. So
I'm sure
he's gonna like say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this for the country because I'm such a great guy. I'm the greatest president out there."
So what was it? Was it last night or the night before? He went on and he announced the national emergency.
It was. I
think it was like last night.
Okay, it was within the last couple days. I don't remember for sure. Yeah, Mr. Nevermind, our cat Carlos is in here right now.
Or oh no, he ran away.
Well, or our baby demon cat. Not baby cat. He's the oldest cat out of our three that we have.
Our baby cat likes to announce himself. He was throwing his whole body into the door because he was mad that we locked ourselves in here. So we let him in, and now all he's doing is just running around meowing.
Yep, because he wants up on the table.
Yeah.
So at some point you might see a cat or cat tail or cat butt or something up on the table.
They've seen the cats before jump up there. So
sorry.
Kios threatening.
He keeps threatening to use it.
Oh yeah.
ICE and okay. We missed a few things. Funny enough, ICE and it's a partial shutdown, so it affects 800,000 employees. Funnily enough, ICE and border security, so immigration and customs enforcement is ICE, and border security people mostly. He hasn't announced it yet. He keeps threatening to use it. So basically,
so he's basically saying if we don't get the money, we're gonna have to do a national.
So so here's the latest thing that Trump said in his very long-winded, completely biased and unfounded claims. Pretty much, I believe it was fact-checked, and like 95% of the things that
C-
Donald Trump said in his
CNN, which was
CNN
one of
did it. There's factcheck.org. There's plenty of different sources
Yeah.
out there that you can fact check for
the
yourself.
CNN, which is one of the news companies that he says is fake news.
Yes.
Did a fact check and it was like 95 to like 98%.
Yeah,
false.
quite the majority of what Trump said was either completely flat out false, there was no evidence, or it was taken out of context. So
Like
Trump
he made
started
up
off.
stories, didn't he? He made up stories
Yeah.
about like a officer in California was killed by an illegal immigrant. Like he just made it sound like the immigrant was like,
lot
"Oh,
of
that's
things-
a police officer,"
lot of
and
things
then
were
went
taken
up
out
and
of
shot him in his
context.
face.
So basically, the way that it started out with the address that he gave was he explained how we are experiencing a national crisis in the United States, a humanitarian crisis. A lot of his typical
Yeah.
fear mongering that he does, that we are in such a crisis that we have to fund the border wall because there's such a crisis right now with the not only the immigrants that are coming over illegally, in addition to
Yeah.
he was also talking about like the drugs that are being smuggled across the border and the increased crime rate we're having in the United States and all of that because of these illegal immigrants.
Yeah, Musty says that most of it was either partial stories or they were chopped up to be repackaged for the stupid. If it's a national crisis, he
Yeah.
should have done it by now.
Well, so what?
Which is funny. He also made the comment how we don't build a wall because we hate the people on the other side. We build the
Yes.
wall because we love the people on the inside.
Yes, that was one of the quotes from his address.
Yeah.
Because he provided the example of, if you have anybody, but I think he gave the example of like all the rich politicians and everything, and he said, well, you see all of them, they build these huge fences around their house and they're really tall, huge fences. And what are they for? Are they to keep people out or are they to keep the people inside safe? Well, kind of both. I mean,
you build it to keep people out.
I think that line that he gave, I think that perspective is going to get a lot of people that are uninformed and uneducated
I have
to
this question
buy.
too.
Let me finish my
I'm
sentence.
letting you
God
finish.
damn it.
I'm letting you
God
finish.
damn it. We're already arguing on air and we haven't even been on for a full 10 minutes yet. So I have a feeling I'm going to punch you by the end of this podcast. Just anybody who wants to take bets, feel free to not real bets for real money, just have to throw that out there. Fake money just for bragging rights. But if anybody wants to take bets in the chats, let us know. Zombie says do it. I just might. So
I'm waiting for you to finish.
I know you're twiddling your thumbs because you're so anxious to say what you want to say, and all of this is making me forget what I was gonna say.
All
and
right.
you do this all the time. God
Okay,
damn
so
it!
you forgot it. So let me just
Punch.
How you did punch me. Musty said a little bit back. It said, observation: why aren't y'all building a wall on northern borders? And that was a question I had too. Is like, if we don't hate the people on the other side and we're trying to keep the people inside safe, why aren't we building a border for Canada too?
Exactly. Well, and a lot of people that are pro Trump stance on this, that are for building the wall, a lot of them are like, well, we don't have an issue with people illegally immigrating from Canada, which I don't have statistics right at my hand, but I feel that would be a lie. There's still, it doesn't matter what race, religion, color, creed, origin, whatever, language, doesn't matter who you are, what you speak, what you believe in, how you feel.
Yeah.
There are people that are going to do things that are illegal.
I feel like it wouldn't be Canadians coming to America. It would actually be Americans running to Canada because they have a lot better medical and healthcare.
I feel like, to be honest, I feel like that happens more often than what's reported too. So I think that It's okay if the illegal alien is pasty skinned and says a boot.
A boot.
Exactly.
And,
How about
and
that?
has maple syrup.
And loves hockey. And they
Yeah.
they have
Well,
health
their
insurance. Why would they come
here?
here?
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's definitely more reason for Canadians to stay in Canada. However, with the healthcare, I think
Yeah.
there's obviously Canadians that do cross the border and come in the United States, and vice versa.
We're far less than.
I think, well, and even more so on the flip side, you have quite a few Americans that are going into Mexico for like healthcare and stuff. For example, I work for an insurance company.
Does Mexico have a better healthcare than us?
It's cheaper. They can provide.
It's cheaper, but it's also kind of like going to like.
It depends where you go. No, not necessarily. No, it's not like Mexico's a third world country. It's still a developed country that's still got
I've always
professionals.
I've always heard the story of like the like not so quite rich white woman goes down there for plastic surgery and comes back and it's like, oh, this is all botched and terrible.
So there's actually there's a growing number of people that are going to Mexico for healthcare, just because of the lower cost of it.
Right.
The company I work for just started, like a network of providers that's in Mexico because there's such a growing interest in going to Mexico. But for example, like it's not just Mexico, but that opens up the conversation to medical tourism. There's a lot of people that go outside the country, whether it be an adjoining or adjacent country or not. There's some people that maybe they immigrated to the United States from another country. Maybe they have family in another country. Mm-hmm. For example, I wouldn't say Germany, but I know I've processed a claim from like.
So never mind. I was trying to speak Spanish.
Oh. Like I've had a dental claim I processed from Turkey before. Yeah. And it was like they wrote in a letter saying, I went home to visit family in Turkey. I got a bunch of work done when I was in Turkey and came back. And they were happy with the work. It's the same work that they would have had done in the U.S., mm-hmm. but they went to Turkey and they got it for like a fraction of the price. I mean, we're talking, they probably paid an eighth of what they would have paid in the United States. Yeah. Some countries are that way. Mexico is probably about a third to a half of what you would actually pay in the U.S. for most services. There's quite a few people that do that. So the point was to get back to the main topic about the wall. Yeah, the wall. Is that it's not just people coming from Mexico into the U.S. It's people from the U.S. going into Mexico for things such as medical services. I mean, family. Spring break. Vacations, shopping. A lot of people go and they buy stuff there too.
I've always wondered, like, if we get this wall built, what's that going to do to all the like Americanized resorts in Mexico, like Cozumel?
You'll still be able to go to those places. You still have to have a passport.
I would imagine traffic to those places though would die down because nobody wants to deal with it.
I'm sorry. I just saw. I hadn't followed most of the conversation that Zombie had put in there, but then I just saw donkey sex shows come up in the chat, and I feel like we're gonna get banned for this. Like,
I think we've had a lot worse than that.
Oh, that could be true. You and Nixit getting all down and dirty.
Yeah, if Nixit was gonna definitely go way deeper than that. If we take
that's what he said.
If we take in aliens...
It's okay. I know that was shocking.
If we take in aliens, the tax table would expand exponentially. Do you think so?
I guess I'm not understanding what you're saying, tax table, Mr. Nevermind. If you could expand on that or clarify... I think
he's saying it would cost us taxpayers a lot more if we take in more.
See, and that's a very common argument that is made. However, studies have proven that even if there are illegal immigrants that are coming in and being employed, whether that employer is aware that they're illegal or not, that's beside the point right now. But actually, exactly like what Zombie is saying, because they're actually contributing to a lot of the taxes. They're still getting taxes deducted from their paychecks. So even though they are an illegal immigrant, they're still actually contributing taxes to the United States. So a lot of times that argument isn't necessarily 100% valid. Illegal aliens, depending... I don't like calling them illegal aliens. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me, but I don't know what else to say to...
What else would you call them? Is it because you associate aliens with space?
No, it's just because as a country, the United States especially was founded on the fact that for your poor, for your hungry, for your tired masses, I'm probably butchering that quote, but send me your poor, send me your hungry, your huddled masses, I think is how it goes. It's on the Statue of freaking Liberty, and I can't think of what it is.
Yeah.
But our country was founded on the basis of immigration. We immigrated from England and fought for our independence from England, got our independence, took over the land from the Native Americans that were already here. So we ourselves are immigrants, for one. I might add that we're probably, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, we would probably be considered illegal immigrants because we just came over here and just took over everything.
You're really addressing that up a little bit.
Dressing it up?
Oh, well, I mean, we came over here and we murdered a lot of Indians.
Well, yeah,
and we took their land.
Exactly.
And we cheated them out of
We're
things.
horrible.
And then we just decided,
white people are horrible.
We took this land from you. It didn't cost us a thing, but if you want some of it, you have to buy it or you have to do work for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can only have this land to do what you want with it. But what I'm getting at is that our country was founded by immigrants for immigrants, and it was made... America used to be considered like this huge melting pot of the world, where you could have people from different races, religions, different beliefs and opinions about things, different cultures coming together and melting together, and just we were did everybody get along all the time? No, but god damn it, Cord, you failed at your job. We disappeared.
I got so interested in
the conversation. Sorry about that. We're back. But America used to be this melting pot, and it used to be celebrated to have these differences. Now, it's not just because of Trump. As much as that pains me to say, it's not just Trump. This has been an ongoing... this has been a pot that's been ready to boil over for a while. It just needed the right time and the right things to happen. Annoying orange. Yes. Yes. Number 45 is the annoying orange. But it needed the right factors to make it boil over. And I think at this point, given the things that have happened around the world, but in our country as well, given the fact that the president that we have is very xenophobic, very racist. I don't care who says he's not racist. You maybe need to reevaluate the term racism, because he is a racist. He tries to make these excuses that his beliefs are based on something else, but he is flat out a racist. The man that probably employs quite a few illegal immigrants himself, probably.
I always thought it was funny. I think it was during his...
Is against illegal immigrants.
During his campaign, or it was like right after he became president. But I think it was during his campaign. But he went to one of his hotels, and he's like, "Oh, every Tuesday I come to my hotel to enjoy Taco Tuesday."
Yeah.
And then he got like a taco bowl.
It was to prove that he wasn't racist, that he was like, look at me, I can eat Mexican food. It's not even really like Mexican food. Like,
they found out
it's not traditional Mexican food.
The people in his kitchen, I think, or like one of the servers or whatever, was an illegal immigrant from Mexico.
Yeah.
And it was so funny.
Zombie is right. All right. I think every country needs to have immigration. Now, I think another important thing to bring up when we're discussing the issue of the wall is we need to talk about who are these people that are trying to get into the United States. So first off, just to point out, like most recently we were talking about this migrant caravan that was going on. It was filled with thousands of, like, primarily women and children that were seeking refuge.
But he was telling us that it was like
criminals
to, like,
and gang members from MS-13 that were trying to infiltrate
young
our
men
country.
who were criminals and they were trying to come over and sell us drugs and kill us.
That's not to say that there aren't people that are criminals trying to get into our country.
Yeah.
But and there was actually
not all of them are.
Correct. And
you know,
there's a lot of them. I'm actually pulling up fact checked right now.
And that said fat check.
Fact.
It's like,
fact.
Is Trump really fat?
Trump is fat. Have you seen him?
I know. But it's funny.
And he tried to release the health thing. Like, he had his doctor. I guarantee you that doctor got like $1 million bonus check saying, please say that I am the healthiest president ever. And I had 100% on the cognitive score.
I'm the most stable president.
I don't know about you, but when Trump became president and had the, like, mental evaluation, the cognitive exam performed, and they released the cognitive exam for the public to see what the exam looked like, one of my coworkers actually printed that exam out for us at work and administered the exam to our entire team of coworkers just for fun, just for shits and giggles. None of us could get 100%. Yeah. I'm not saying that any of us are geniuses, but I do think that I'm smarter than Donald Trump. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
I think that I would probably be, I feel like my IQ is higher than Donald Trump. Sue me. But
sue me.
Please don't sue me. I don't have money for that.
Donald Trump's watching this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm suing this bitch.
I just want to know, when the hell does Donald Trump sleep? He's up all night tweeting. He's like tweet storming all the time.
I feel like they auditioned and interviewed a lot of people who think or speak like...
You're doing Trump hands right now.
Who speak like Donald Trump. And so, of all hours of the day, they just have some sort of Trump on Twitter or social media. So that way, when he's not on his phone tweeting, there's somebody there to do it for him. Yeah.
There's something, because otherwise I have no idea how because he's a speed freak. But I did want to, I looked up on factcheck.org. You can look up all of the fact checking that they did for Trump's immigration address.
Have you heard him sniffing?
Yeah, he sniffs a lot. If you haven't noticed it,
does he?
If you watch him give a speech and he...
like...
It's not even like I did that really exaggerated, like I did the shoulder shrug with it, but it's just like... I did this, and then I did this, and then I did like
in between each sentence, he's got.
Yes.
That's funny. I never noticed.
It's a legit theory that he's apparently is an Adderall addict.
Wouldn't surprise me.
The president who's trying to lead another round of the war on drugs is in fact a drug addict. He's
not really doing that good though, right? Because, like, we're still, like, legalizing marijuana left and right.
Well, he's trying to suck a watermelon through a length of a garden hose underwater. That is perfect. That is the perfect description of it. Thank you. Thank you for that golden nugget of wisdom. His war on drugs is more prescription, like, opioids. Is what he is focusing on. I believe that his wife, the First Lady, Melania Trump, I believe that is her, like, pet project.
Live in the same house as him and is more worried about her fashion life.
Yeah, I have opinions about that, but
It's funny how, like...
any opinion I have about her is going to be really... I would consider myself as a feminist, and I feel that she does not represent what I feel. Like, I don't feel like I should talk about my opinions on her because I don't feel that they're very pro-feminist feelings about her.
What do you mean? 'Cause, I mean, I feel like she doesn't really represent anything at all.
I feel like
she's
she's
just...
very controlled, very limited in her exposure and what she says and does. And I also kind of feel like she's trapped.
I feel like she's trapped too. I feel like she just wants nothing to do with it because she knows it's like a train wreck, and really she's only with Trump for the money.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, when you see them together, there's no
well, she's
love.
like been
There's
caught
nothing.
on camera batting his hand away, like, don't touch me, don't hold my hand.
And like any opportunity she can to walk away from him, she does.
Yeah. Mr. Nevermind, I definitely think that there's problems with a lot of the prescription painkillers in general.
Oh, there's an epidemic with opioids, for sure.
I think that there's something that exists. Do I believe that that is exaggerated by the media like anything else? Yes. I believe that it's another case of fear-mongering, which media has used for ages.
Because I worked for the rehab system for a while.
Exactly, zombie.
And it kind of was, to me, it is a problem. It is an epidemic. I think Trump is actually just kind of using it. He's not really, I don't think he really cares about it. I think he's just using it as like, hey, look at me, I'm getting work done, but really not. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like when you hate your job, but when your manager is like in the same aisle as your cubicle, you're like, oh, gotta make it look like I'm working. That's what I feel like.
I'm working. I promise I'm working.
Like Trump is doing is like, oh yeah, I'm plugging away, and then as soon as the manager goes away, he's like, fuck, get on Facebook, fuck this job.
Not that
Twitter
not that one of my coworkers does that, but there's been a time where my boss comes over and she's like clearly not doing work at that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just at that moment. It's not. She does work and she gets her shit done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying she doesn't. Especially if you're watching, but you know who you are. Anyway, but there's a lot of times where my boss would come over and she'd be like, "Working, boss, working. I'm working."
Yeah. That's Trump. That's Trump whenever America comes around. Like,
Trump in a nutshell. I'm working, guys. I'm doing a presidential address.
Oh, yeah. I gotta stop the opioids.
Don't mind the fact that I've spent 2/3 of my presidential term at a property, like at a non-government property, at just like at a golf course, at a retreat, at a whatever.
Yeah.
Don't mind that. I feel like, wow, I'm sorry. I took like a lot of rage out on Trump there.
Little town in West Virginia. Population 3,200. All of them addicted to opioids.
I think as far as like the opioid crisis, I don't know if I feel comfortable calling it a crisis. Just like how I wouldn't call the border situation a humanitarian crisis. One, first off, just like a final thought on it for now is, so not really a final thought, but last thing I will say about it right now is that, well, shit. I just blanked. I lost my train of thought.
You have writer's
block?
block?
Damn. I'm sorry, guys. It's so bad today.
Is that 21 million prescriptions each?
Pills prescribed 21 million.
21 million to 3,200.
I think it's saying 21 million pills have been prescribed to a population of 3,200.
Still
in that town.
It's still a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a fuck ton. Let me catch up on chat real quick. Guys against immigration who married his wife while she didn't have status in the U.S. Therefore,
that was about Trump.
His own children are not strictly under law considered Americans.
Yeah.
There is a problem when your healthcare is
incentivized
by money. 100% agree with oh, that's you.
That's
Coraline.
me.
100% agree with Zombiefoot. doctors overprescribe pharmaceuticals, have monetary goals.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with Virginia is bad. It is true. Yeah. The doctors do overprescribe, and doctors overprescribing not just opioids, but just any kind
Everything.
of prescription is in itself an epidemic, because a lot of them, they either want you to shut up, they want you to keep happy, or they just want you out the door. And they know the quickest way to do that is just to scribble on a fucking script. And they don't give a shit that you're going to get addicted to whatever. And then you're going to have more side effects. You're going to come back with something new.
Well, and with that being said, then you get into like antibiotics, and now we're seeing an emergence of
immune systems.
Well, no, you've always had an immune system.
Well, I mean, like
body
antibiotics, like we're giving that shit out so much that it's ruining our immune system.
Well,
so
we're getting
antibiotics.
It's not ruining the immune systems. It's the problem is that with any type of live creature, there's going to be some sort of evolution or evolving of that happens. So you're having these viruses and bacteria that are evolving, that they're now becoming
super
resistant.
viruses.
They're becoming resistant to these traditional forms of antibiotics. Eventually, we're going to run out of things that we can do to try to treat these things. So what are we going to do when that happens? Why don't we nip it in the bud now and stop overprescribing these antibiotics when it's something like a common cold that what is it? Virus. I believe viruses you cannot take an antibiotic for. Is that right? It's only bacterial, I believe.
Yeah.
Trying to remember back to those biology days.
In high school.
In college, I was
in college.
Nick Nixit and I were both in college, and we were
not
both
here to defend you.
We were both pre-med for a little while, so I do remember some of that stuff.
When you went to school.
When I went to school,
when you went to class.
Hey, it still took more school than you did, bucko.
I have a podcast.
So. Oh, shit just got real. Mic drop. And that's the show. Have a great day. No. But
And crushable Xanax, 70% drop off the scripts.
The band.
You take 80%. America takes 80% of the world's medicine. Where is that?
I could believe that. I feel like that would be a leave. Yeah, shit just got real. I feel like that would be a believable stat, is that the U.S. takes 80% of the world's medicine.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, you got people, like, I'm sorry, I'm going to throw your dad under the bus, but you got your people who, like, gets a runny nose, and all of a sudden we got to run to the doctor, and we're not happy until we get some kind of script filled. And then you've got doctors who are more than happy to fucking fill those scripts.
Well, because they just want to shut them up. That's all
exactly.
it is.
That, like, they don't want to say, hey, idiot, I went to med school, I diagnosed you, and this is what you really need. You don't need a prescription. But we've got people who are like, I gotta have my pill. This can't be cured unless I put something in my body.
Right. They're not willing. It's kind of what comes along with our society these days, is we're a society of instant gratification.
Yeah.
We need something done. We need something in our hands now to fix the situation. Mm-hmm. Just like how we have to have our phones in our hands so that we can go on Facebook and we can check something real quick. We can go on Twitch and watch the latest stream. Mm-hmm. We can go check the news. We can go on Twitter.
We can fart our latest thought on Twitter.
On
Twitter. I'm going to make my own app. It's going to be called Twit. Free samples from doctors provided by pharma. Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot of those free samples. Now, some of those medications I think are helpful. Like, for example, some of those related to, like, diabetes. Like, there's medications now that somebody takes either a pill or an injection, and it lowers their blood sugar enough that a lot of times they're not even having to take insulin. Or, for example, not to bring another coworker up, but I know a coworker that was having to use insulin every single day, multiple times a day, and she started on a medication now that's brought her normal blood sugar levels down dramatically, to the point she's not using as much insulin as she had to use before. In addition to, she's using a few new like advanced technology things that diabetics have. For example, one is this device that like you can wear on your stomach that it has the needle like ready to go. You fill it with your insulin that you get, and then you check
pump?
your blood sugar. No, it's not an insulin pump. It's like a manual thing that you check your blood sugar. If you need to take insulin, you just do a click. You do like so many clicks after you eat or something, and it delivers the insulin through your stomach. I mean, it still pokes you, but it's not, from my understanding, you don't even feel it. It delivers that insulin that they need then, and it's less invasive.
So technically.
And on top of it, they have the blood glucose monitors now, which she also has as well, that is just like a patch you put on your arm, and it's Bluetooth enabled, so you literally can take the monitor, you pass it over it, and it makes this little like little sound, and it reads her blood sugar immediately without having to do any extra pokes in her fingers. It does, of course, have to poke in her arm, but that's less sensitive, I feel like, than the tips of your fingers.
Yeah.
Especially multiple times a day when you're having to test.
So she's kind of like, what do you say? She's like an early form of augmentation.
I wouldn't say that because the devices are not built into her. The devices are fully removable.
Connected. They're still connected to her.
They are connected, but they are removed every single day.
If we use the argument where the phone in your pocket...
I just use vodka.
If the phone in your pocket...
I prefer rum, but same idea.
...is still a form of us being...
You could argue. I mean, I see...
Because there's an argument where your phone is like the smartest computer ever, and it fits in your pocket, and you're always on it, and therefore you're connected to the Matrix at all times.
It's in the Matrix.
You know? So, and if we use that argument, then the pump thingy and the patch on your arm could be a early form of... I like the eye contact one. Early form of augmentation. I'm sorry, I keep turning around and looking at Julie. Let me catch up here on chat. We are just as bad over here.
Flirty eyes over here.
We pay. I'm probably gonna say this. I'm probably gonna fuck this up. Correct me if I do. We pay £7.20 for any prescription. Does not matter how expensive the meds are. We have such a shortage in doctors and have such a strain. They just throw pills at you.
Just take them.
So you think you pay maximum $12 for the month worth of pain pills. You have ones now where the implant can be scanned with your phone and get instant blood sugar.
Yep. That's what my coworker... It's not a full implant. It's just like it's on the surface of the skin for her. I'm sure there's an implant out there.
Well, isn't there like... Samsung has like the little heartbeat sensor, but it also tells you like your levels of hydration.
No, it's your it's a pulse oximeter, which measures the level of oxygen that's in your blood.
Well, still, I mean, I'm sure Samsung can come up with something to do blood sugar through that.
I feel
Mr.
like that's
Nevermind says he just uses vodka.
And that's what I said is that I like that idea, but I prefer rum.
Actually, my friend and I, one of my close friends here, we have a theory that if we just drink screwdrivers all the time, we'd stay healthy because we get vitamin C from the orange juice, and then the vodka just kills whatever bacteria. So it's not a bad idea. Anyways, so...
Other than for your liver and kidneys and all of that, I mean...
Yeah, but I mean, like, we have...
But who needs those, right? We've got all of these things we can augment now.
Yeah,
like,
we can 3D print those things.
Yeah. Who needs that? Then screw it. We'll just get dialysis several times a week. Who needs to worry about that?
I always loved the idea of farming organs.
Really? That was a really creepy way to say that.
I really love the idea.
I feel like you sounded like
human organs.
You sounded like a serial killer. Like when you say farming human organs, that sounds like you're going out killing people and harvesting their organs.
I think there's a musical about that, isn't there? Or like a popular movie.
Well, Sweeney Todd. I mean,
Well, there's Sweeney Todd, but I
but
think
it's
there's
not
like
for
a
the
futuristic
organs.
one
It's
too.
for
Where, like,
Mrs. Lovett's meat pies.
I think there's a futuristic one where like these guys go out and like steal people's organs and turn around and sell them to other people who need them.
Yeah, and I can't think of the name of it. I know what movie you're talking about.
I used to think they had the same thing until I drank
Oh.
14 pints of snowbite. How do you say that?
Snake bite, he said.
Oh, snake bite.
He corrected it down below.
Oh, okay.
Keep up.
Jesus. 14 pints of snake bite and a jug of vodka Red Bull, then woke up 3 days later after I dropped into a coma.
Oh my god.
Only they times a queek.
Only 3 times a week, I think is it.
I love how he corrected 3.
Right? He corrected 3, but not week.
Which is beer
I
and cider
speak
mixed
Mr. Nevermind, okay?
Okay.
I speak Mr. Nevermind. I can figure it out.
So, okay, enough talking about pharmaceuticals and on organs and stuff. Let's talk about how Trump is so let's stop talking about Trump. I'd like to update our viewers, our 4 viewers, on our situation that we had with our son in his school.
Oh, okay.
Because we have an update about that.
Mm-hmm.
Julie and I.
Who's Julie?
Laureline and King Cord 1 called for a meeting, and we had a meeting. It was Wednesday, right? I had a meeting on Wednesday. It was after school.
Tuesday. No?
No, it was Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It was Tuesday.
Thank you, Mr.
You're funny,
Nevermind.
Mr. J. You're the Joker, and Mr. Nevermind.
You shouldn't say Mr. J.
Yeah, Mr. Nevermind.
Hey, Mr. J.
What's her name? I can't fucking.
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
God damn it! I'm gonna disown you.
Harley Quinn.
God damn.
You're funny, Mr. J. Anyways, we had a meeting Tuesday after school. We talked to them. We discussed our concerns. We told them what we think should be changed, what we want to be updated about. We also kind of deciphered a little bit. A lot of it was kind of us just kind of imagining what was happening.
I wouldn't say imagining. It's just when you get 20% of the story, you're left to fill in a lot of the blanks.
And
when you fill in those blanks, you kind of assume the worst. I
mean, let's not just say like
I don't want to sugarcoat it.
We weren't completely wrong.
No,
because he was still sent out of the room for less than no good reasons, and the whole like resource room is being used as like
a punishment,
a psycho jail kind of fucking thing for autistic kids. And we discussed that with them. We discussed that we feel like he should have more breaks and all that stuff. So basically we worked out a new plan where our kid gets more breaks throughout the day to kind of defragment and de-stress, as well as we also kind of discovered that he's been like not eating very well.
Yeah.
And so his blood sugar hasn't been up to par.
That's our theory. We don't know for a fact.
Our theory
but
parents.
The working theory is that no, Zombie, he does not go to a school for autism. He just goes to a regular public school. Yeah. However, there is a special education program and department. The vice principal of the school is the head of the special education department. So I think that helps. But they are in the United States as a whole, I don't know what the laws are or the regulations that set it, but basically when a child is in the special education program, they get an individualized education plan or program or an IEP. And with that, that's basically our way of the school entering a contract with us saying we are legally obligated to provide these services at minimum this amount of time. 121 support, or a classroom helper. He doesn't have anybody like, here they call them like para educators. They don't
Not
have
yet.
any paras at his school that he goes to. There are some in town.
Yeah.
It's mostly a budget thing, I think.
And I think
but-
it's also for like kids who are like who really really need him. Where our kid is kind of on he's on the spectrum where he's fully functional. I don't really know where you could say.
You got to be really careful with how you say that. Like, it's not that he is verbal. He's not nonverbal.
Right.
He's high functioning.
He just doesn't. He doesn't recognize emotions. He doesn't recognize facial expression or body expressions.
He struggles with social situations and social cues.
And he's got a volume problem.
Which is part of the social cues.
And it's also because he's 7 fucking years old, going on 8.
Yes. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So basically, he spends time in a regular classroom, but then he also has like things that the teacher does with him, like lets him go to a safe space, which is like last year was under a table, and he can listen to like his iPod, or he can play on the tablet for like a set amount of time. He also he can go to this room, the resource room, which is 104, and I believe there's another one, 124.
Yeah. Yes.
But where he can go and decompress or do whatever. And last year he had scheduled breaks. This year, for some reason, we decided not to give him scheduled breaks.
It wasn't that they decided not to give them to him. It was just one of those things like, until somebody mentions it or brings it to your attention, I don't think that they're going out of their way to do those things unless it's being requested.
So
technically, in his IEP, it didn't say that he had to get those breaks. However, we have now written that into his IEP, so they have to do that going forward.
Basically, this last meeting, we overhauled his whole thing. We made sure he had scheduled breaks. We made sure that instead of using 104 as a punishment, that he can actually use it as a resource, like what it's supposed to be. I'm still not happy with, apparently there's the whole padded room situation where it's called the red zone in 104, where they just put the kid in a padded room. I get it. It's so he can't hurt himself or anyone else. Still kind of puts like a stigma on it, though.
It's a lot of it is he's choosing to go in there on his own. That doesn't necessarily make it right, but
from what we gathered from the first half, he kept getting sent to 104 and kept getting sent into the padded room, and what it felt like to us and to him a lot is that if he was just to get a little loud, instead of investigating the situation, figuring out what the problem is, or figuring out how to keep him in the classroom, they're just like, all right, go to red zone. And then he was there for the rest of the day, which is like anywhere from like 2 to fucking 4 hours.
Well, and we already went all over this.
Yeah, right. So we had the meeting, and we said, okay, let's not use it as a punishment. Let's use it as a resource. Let's make sure he's eating his lunch. Let's give him some snacks if he's getting seems like his blood sugar's getting a little low. Let him use his iPod. And let's try to focus on keeping him in the classroom itself so he can get his education. So, but yeah, I just wanted to update you guys on that because we had that whole episode where we ranted about it. And I figured you guys would like to be updated on it. So that's that.
I'm not ignoring you. I apologize to our viewers that have been watching me look down.
Are you telling all the girls on Instagram that I'm married?
That, and I'm also telling them all that we're live.
Oh.
And that they should stop in and chat and join our conversation. And then I'm also happy to report that because of that conversation, now the last couple days, we've had great, fantastic days. There's been maybe like small things here and there. Like I believe we got an email yesterday saying that he had got upset in the afternoon because he thought that these kids were taking the ball away from him or something or whatever, and then said that he was being bossy, which
he wasn't understanding that he had to take turns in the game.
Yes, so it's just a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like his teachers can't or won't understand signs and cues of a potential
Well, and back
blowout.
before Zombie had asked if he used anything like visual timetables. He used to use a visual schedule back in kindergarten and first grade. Now that he's in second grade, they haven't used a visual schedule because he seemed to be okay. It's more, they use a lot of priming, which for anybody that may not be familiar with what that means is priming is like,
just telling him ahead of time.
Yes, basically prepping him for an event that's going to happen so that you don't get a negative reaction.
Fire alarm drill test today.
Yeah.
It's going to go off. It's not real. Don't worry about it.
He used to freak out a lot with fire alarms and tornado drills.
Because I imagine every other
It's
kid.
a sensory input thing, I think.
Well, yeah, it's the alarms and the strobe lights going off, one, but then it's also, you have no idea what's going on. You think it's a real thing.
No, Georgia, I don't want to talk to you.
Georgia. See, it sounds, we feel like his home teacher, I feel like a lot of the teachers there aren't really trained to deal with kids like ours. I think like they're aware of kids like them, and I think they're aware of some precautions to do or whatever, but I don't think they know exactly how to just handle when you're having like a blowout, like you say.
Blowout? Blowout?
No, he says potential blowout. Priming is good, but even his age visualization helps a lot. He does love, like he loves he's got calendars, he's got schedules. He's got
like 9 clocks in his room.
He's got Alexa like scheduling everything for him for some reason.
He's got timers for when he needs to go to bed. He's got timers for when he needs to shut his TV off. He's got
timers for breakfast. He's got a timer for when I come home in the morning.
Yeah. He's got a timer for everything. But that's kind of one of his coping skills I think he's figured out along the way that helps him, which is exactly what we want him to learn. We want him to learn those things. So,
Well, I think this year we're trying to focus mostly on having him recognize facial expressions and body language and emotions, because Julie and I sometimes will get to the point where we're kind of frustrated and we're trying to show it to him without being complete and total dicks, but we're also kind of like, why aren't you getting this?
Well, it's a very thin line to walk, and it's one of those things that the worst thing you can do as a parent of somebody with special needs, or anybody that has a relationship with somebody that's special needs like that, the worst thing you can do is compare. And I beat myself up over that all the time because I struggle with that. I'm like, well, all of these kids out there, they, like, for example, when we were going through potty training, our son wasn't able to get potty trained until like 5.5 years old. It's not for lack of trying. It's not because of a lack of intelligence or anything. It's just...
We had a lot of things like stacking up against us. He had gotten encopresis.
Encopresis, which
is
like
a form of constipation where
it's a side effect of constipation. It's like a psychological disorder where you temporarily you are afraid of, you're so constipated and it hurts to go to the bathroom.
He was
that
afraid of,
you are afraid to go to the bathroom and therefore keep it in because you're afraid of the pain. He
was afraid of going to the bathroom in his pants because we were trying to get him off the diapers. So he was telling himself, I can't poop in my diaper, but then it just backfired and he got constipated, and then everything softer went around it, but he didn't feel it, and so the soft stuff would come out, and
so it eventually was to the point where a side effect of encopresis, I know this is kind of a gross thing to talk about, but
a little weird.
A side effect of it is that you actually lose the sensation that you have to go to the bathroom, and so like you were saying, some of the stuff kind of ends up coming out on its own. But anyway, so we struggled a lot with that, and comparing or like, just why is he not getting this? It gets so frustrating, but you also have to remind yourself. And
it always felt like too, like you feel like you got a breakthrough And you're like, okay, he's finally getting it. And then like the next morning is like it all just went to for nothing. Like it just went out, like it left overnight.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of struggle, and this year we're trying to get him to recognize, because it's a little frustrating when you're trying to communicate with him. What you're doing is making me upset, and he's like, you're just like, everything's fine, everything's normal. I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing, and so I think we're starting to get a little somewhere with it, but still work in progress. So it's not about comparing, but there will always be ideas that you might not have thought of. Support from parents who know the struggle is so underestimated.
I agree. It's a lot of time. I know it seems so silly, but like a lot of times I'll just be scrolling through Facebook and I won't even be actively looking for anything. I'll just be scrolling through and then I see like there's several different pages on like Facebook that I follow that are related to special needs, specifically autism. And I'll just be scrolling through and all of a sudden I see a headline on like a blog post that somebody did and I'm like, that's exactly my situation. That could help me out so much right now. And I read it and I'm like, oh my God, like, why didn't I think of that? So yes, definitely, getting support from others, but also just getting a perspective from others is so helpful. Definitely. On another, transitioning to a different story, I wanted to talk about, it's kind of a messed up story, and I think you know what I'm going to talk about. But in the United States, in Arizona, there's a healthcare facility that is in hot water right now because one of the patients at that healthcare facility had been in a vegetative state for over 10 years after a near drowning. And out of the blue, she apparently started to give birth, and nobody knew that she was pregnant, and she's been in a vegetative state for 10 years. So, you know, obviously there's some sort of foul play going on. If she's in a vegetative state, she can't consent.
What?
So that's been a recent headline in the United States. They have not found who committed the crime yet.
Why don't you just get DNA samples from everyone who's
so
in there?
What they are doing, they have actually asked all males at the facility to give DNA samples.
It was probably like some guy who visited like 12 years ago.
I think they just asked all staff, I guess I should say, all staff members that are male.
Kill Bill for real. Oh, look up Transporters. It's an animated show for autistic kids that focus on facial expressions. Okay.
Thanks, Tommy. I think that, so they asked for DNA samples from all of the men that work at this facility.
Okay.
But meanwhile, the CEO just randomly steps down out of nowhere. I'm assuming just because of the publicity of it, like, oh my God, how could this happen? But you've got to admit that kind of looks bad at the same time.
I would have waited a little longer.
Like, it was literally a day after the news broke and he stepped down.
Like, shit, they found it out.
And then the news came out about how they're asking all employees for DNA samples.
And he just so happened to step down so he doesn't have to be asked.
Oh, no, I'm sure it's anybody who was employed at the time, like within 9 months of that day, you know? Or he liked, yeah, exactly. So I just thought, I mean, I know that it's kind of a messed up story to talk about, but this is real, like, Law and Order SVU shit. No, nobody knew that she was pregnant until I think she started groaning, and then basically she was crowning and the baby was coming. Like.
And she's still in a vegetative state?
Yes. She's still in a vegetative state.
Is there any news on the baby, though? Like, how's the baby doing?
I haven't. I
imagine she was hooked up to, like, IV, so I'm sure all that nutrients and everything just went straight to the baby.
Well, I mean, with any pregnancy, the nutrients are divided.
That's what I thought. What if she came out of a coma Like, what if giving birth to a baby cat got her out of the coma?
Can you? Okay, pause for a minute because I have no idea what's going on. I just keep getting this spinning rainbow wheel,
Oh, you broke my laptop?
and I can't do anything.
I might have to restart it. Breaking my shit all the time. Can't have nice things around here.
Anyway,
She's got her own laptop, but
I do.
she's got to use mine.
This is my laptop now.
This is my laptop. And then my monitor shuts off. I need to get a new monitor. Anyways,
Hey, Cardos.
so let's talk about space.
Space. I feel like this is where we could use a soundboard.
That's funny you just said that because I put on the Streamlabs that we want a Elgato Stream Deck Mini, and somebody got one for us.
No, they did not.
Somebody got one. His name is Lord Beesing.
No.
So this morning I came home from work and I went upstairs and I had it in the Amazon and I was ready to buy it. And I was like, Julie, somebody bought us a Stream Deck. She's like, what, really? And
My eyes lit up for a second. I was filled with so much hope and so much joy that there was still kindness in this world.
And she's like, who? And I was like, a guy named Lord Beesing.
And I go, by the way, thanks for broadcasting our last name out on air.
They already know it.
But anyway, so I'm like, God damn it, Core.
It turns out when I put on one of the credit cards, I misspelled my first name and said Lord instead of Cord.
Your name autocorrects to Lord.
That's probably what happened. So I was trying to prank her, and I was hoping she'd like go, oh my gosh, so then I could go, yeah, all right, I'll just buy it then. But no, she figured it out pretty quick that I was trying to buy it. So.
I'm a smart cookie, you know.
Anyone out there who wants to get us the Stream Deck, we won't stop you. And thank you very much.
Don't feel like you have to. I mean, we're not beggars, okay? We're not begging for anything.
We'll mostly use it for a soundboard.
I'm not begging for anything.
Lord is right, Jay. Lord is right, Mr. J. I think next podcast you need to come on with Joker makeup.
Joker makeup. I thought you were saying like pigtails and stuff.
No, your Joker. He's Harley Quinn. Never say never. All right, let's talk about space. So, I can't remember how long ago it was, but we definitely talked about it here on the podcast that we've been receiving radio signals from a special region in space.
Not a special region.
It's a
but
very
just
special region. It's from Sector 104. And these radio signals are, I can't remember how they said how powerful they are, but they're pretty powerful. They have high
are
energy.
actually strong. They have the same amount of energy that our sun produces in 12 months in one burst.
Well, we just recently discovered, or they just recently let us know, that we've got like over, 60 signals from that?
60 different radio frequency bursts from the same area.
From Sector 104.
We don't know what sector, but
I'm making that
that's
part
what
up.
you're going to call it.
But basically, a lot of people are saying intelligent life. A lot of people are saying it's remnants of a dying star or a pulsar. What are your thoughts, Laureline? Do you believe in aliens?
I believe that there's definitely some sort of intelligent life out there. We're not the only ones.
Do you think we need to build a wall around Earth to keep aliens
Here's
out?
the Earth round.
Round.
Here's the wall round. End of Z World. In case you guys don't know what we're referencing.
The signals seem to be very specific.
Yeah, I definitely think that there's a chance it could be another form of intelligent life. But a lot of people have also said, by a lot of people I mean like scientists, like experts that know their shit. Yes, much smarter than us.
Okay.
Not Trump. But a lot of people have said that it could be like the remnants of a supernova.
Yeah, a dead star.
A collapse, like
Collapsed star.
Yeah.
Star died.
Yeah. That it could be something like that, but
A lot of smart people think it might be a pulsar.
by a lot of smart people you mean yourself.
I like to consider myself very smart.
Because I haven't heard anybody call it a pulsar, only you. But
It could very well be a pulsar. Okay, let me ask you this. Does it say anywhere in the article that these are the same frequency, like the same amount of power in each signal? Because if it is, I would argue that that would be another form of intelligence bursting out a signal,
trying to communicate.
trying to communicate, understanding that we both don't speak each other's languages, but we do speak numbers, right? If it was a supernova or a dying star, wouldn't you think that the energy or the power would vary?
You would think so. Like you would think that if it's a dying star, that means that the energy is going to decrease. That means that the amount of energy in each of these signals or the length of the signals or anything would be going down.
I mean, I would assume you would get different numbers in between signals, right?
Yeah, exactly, zombie.
The thing is, if you think about our planet, the amount of noise we send out into the world, you wouldn't just get one message. You can filter sound and light, so you get all of it or none of it. But it said how far away did it say?
I'm pulling the article up now. The one that you.
Thank you.
God damn it.
Carlos is using a cardboard box as a scratching post.
By cardboard box, you mean pizza box that was here from last weekend? Yeah.
Okay, let me explain something.
We're not slobs, I promise.
While you're finding this article, let me explain something. We have our studio, which is basically just
our studio, our deluxe apartment studio. So high tech.
It's just another bedroom. It's a small bedroom. It's considered a bedroom because here in America, I don't know in other countries. Here in America, if you have a closet in a room, it's considered a bedroom.
Legally, yeah.
Legally. I feel like the same thing in Canada. Anyways, we got a 3-bedroom townhome. This is our bedroom. I call it the studio. We come in here.
Not our bedroom where we sleep.
No,
this is just
this
the podcast room.
We come in here. We do the podcast. After the podcast, we do a little cleaning up. We send whatever to whatever. Like sometimes we'll send the video after the stream to YouTube to be edited. Window makes a bedroom.
Gotcha.
Cool. Anyways, so
I could put a window in a closet and call it a bedroom.
Nice. Basically, this room is untouched for a week. We literally shut the door and nobody comes in here for a week. And then when I come back in here to set up for the podcast, somehow my mic gets super hot. It can hear the neighbor 3 doors down breathing. The knobs on my Focusrite, which is technically Nixit's Focusrite, but it'll be mine soon enough. They somehow are changed. Settings on the Streamlabs OBS has changed. And so I come in here and I'm like, what the fuck happens? And no one comes in here for a week. So maybe it's a ghost. Maybe it's not a ghost.
Maybe it's a helium life form.
Maybe it's aliens using bursts of energy to change my things. Anyways, did you pull up the article?
Yes, I did. From livescience.com.
Apparently they have gotten FRBs and repeating signals only second time it's ever happened.
Okay, so
didn't they, when they got these signals from the scope or whatever, the post that
I was literally taking a
I'm
breath to start a sentence.
When we originally got these signals, didn't the FBI or whatever shut down the facility for like a week?
So that was actually something that happened. I think it was in like New Mexico. There was an observatory that received these, like, it wasn't that received the radio, I don't know.
They received something.
some sort of radio frequencies at that observatory, and then like FBI and shit all like bombarded it and shut down the place within 24 hours of it happening, and wouldn't let anybody on the grounds, wouldn't tell anybody what's going on, told everybody that worked there to go home and not come back. So definitely, like, for anybody that's like a conspiracy theorist, that's what conspiracy theorists live for.
Sus.
That's fuel for the fire. That's
sus.
Yeah.
Fast radio burst. FRBs is fast radio burst. Thank you, Zombie.
So they have on here, it says, among the typical array of radio signals and microwaves cast out by distant stars, black holes, and other celestial bodies, there exists a brand of intergalactic light that consistently boggles scientists' minds and their instruments. These signals are known as fast radio bursts, FRBs. These ultra-strong, ultra-bright radio signals last only a few milliseconds and are thought to originate from billions of light years away, although their precise source is unknown. The mystery is partially owed to lack of data, since astronomers first discovered these FRBs in 2007, and only about 60 have been observed. Now those numbers are growing fast, according to 2 new papers that were published on January 9th, so just yesterday. Scientists working at CHIME, which is the Canadian Hydrogen Intensity Mapping Experiment radio telescope, in the hills of British Columbia, have detected 13 new FRBs in just a 2-month span. Among these newly captured signals are 7 bursts that registered at 400 megahertz, which is the lowest FRB frequency detected so far, and for only the second time ever, an FRB that flashed out repeatedly 6 times in a row. Can you tell me, I mean, I'm just going to throw out there, I don't know I'm not an expert in space, okay? But as hard as that may be to believe, I'm not an expert at that. I don't know everything. I'm not an expert at everything. I know. Shocker. Just kidding. But
just kidding. I'm an expert at everything.
But
that's pretty sus.
What can you think of that would 6 times in a row, repeatedly,
at
from the same
megahertz?
spots? 400 megahertz, the lowest frequency. I mean, I guess if it's the lowest frequency, technically our point we were making about wouldn't that be getting lower if it was a dying whatever, it would go lower and lower. That would be in line with that theory. However,
yeah, but how would you get? Because it said you got seven signals with 400 megahertz first, right? And then we got 6 more that were more powerful.
It just says among these newly captured signals are 7 bursts that registered at 400 megahertz.
Right, and then after that we got 6 more that was more at megahertz.
It just said it flashed repeatedly in a row. I'm assuming that the 6 that they're repeatedly in a row are included in the 7. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
like
7 total, and it was the first burst of 400. Followed by 6 more bursts, I think is what it's trying to get at. I could be wrong. Until
Musty says that they think that it could be Morse code.
It could be.
We should say Merry Christmas to our 10 hats. Nevermind says he has multiple fool's hats.
Foil hats. Let's see here. It says until now there was only one known repeating FRB. With more repeaters and more sources available for study, we may be able to understand these cosmic puzzles, where they're from, and what causes them.
Now, it's not unheard of to hear that we get some sort of Morse code from space. We've had several stations come out and say that they received something that sounds a little bit like Morse code. There's also a documentary of, like, I think it was somewhere in Britain, a British soldier was out doing a patrol, and all of a sudden he saw a spaceship and he touched it and he got some sort of Morse code, or like some sort of, like, I think it was actually like some kind of a computer language.
Gotcha.
So,
like zeros and ones.
Yeah, binary.
There you go.
So it doesn't surprise me if we do if we are if I can talk if we are getting some sort of Morse code or some sort of
Well, I mean,
simple language to understand.
we've even done things like we've reached out and sent signals out,
We
not
were
only
shut
from our
out space
planet,
all
but
the time.
we've released satellites with different messages that broadcast signals on
Yeah,
them.
the I can't remember what they're called, the navigators.
No.
Basically, it's a satellite that has a gold record on it that plays
There's
all
a
the sounds
couple
of
of
America.
them. There's not just one. There's multiple.
There's two of them.
And I can't think of the name.
I think last
Maybe you
year
guys
it
can tell
just
us in the
passed
chat.
Mars. The second one just passed Mars. But yeah, it has like
Oh no, they're further than that.
it has basically coordinates to how to get to our planet, as well as it plays sounds of planet Earth, like music
Excuse
and
me.
babies and like a baby and a mother talking for the first time and shit like that.
Just
And
a lot of sounds.
very interesting, very inviting for a very scary alien race to come take us over.
Imagine if the first message we receive from a distant galaxy is "Turn it the fuck down, buddy." Like, goddamn, you guys are annoying
It's like,
neighbors.
yeah, we get it. Fuck off.
Quiet down. I'm gonna call the cops. Get off my lawn. You know, stuff like that.
It's like, great, you exist.
It
I'll
says-
exist quietly.
Scientists have a few theories about the origins of these. Previous studies have suggested that FRBs may be the remnants of distant supernovas or radiation spewed out by supermassive black holes. A scientist at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, who was not involved in the discovery, had said that we should not rule out artificial origins like the pulses of an alien spacecraft. She got a legit person, a very smart person that's in the field that says do not rule it out.
Do you really have to be like? Do you really have to have like? Do you have to go to school though to like suggest that for anyone to take you serious? Like I
feel
could have
like you
suggested
do.
that, but nobody's gonna take me serious because I didn't
No,
go to
you'd get locked up in a loony bin.
Smithsonian astronaut school. You know, like what the fuck.
Astronaut school. Not
Anyways, in related news, we
But-
also found out that there is a planet 6 light years away called Barnard Star B. It is the second
quite. Barnard Star.
Barnard is the second planet from their star or their sun.
Okay, so take a breather. Barnard Star B was announced in November. It orbits Barnard Star, the closest solitary star
Hey,
to
thanks for
our
that
sun.
follow, Fat Paws.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I was trying to read the name because I thought you were like mispronouncing the name.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you for that follow.
to have a wheelchair and a computer that talks.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It says it's the closest solitary star to our sun. This makes it the second closest known exoplanet to us. Previously, an exoplanet was found orbiting the 3-star Proxima Centauri system, which is only 4.2 light years away. You could be there overnight.
Overnight.
Though Barnard Star B is more than 3 times the mass of Earth, it's also frozen, which didn't sound very encouraging for supporting life. The planet is probably dimly lit by its star and slightly colder than Saturn. Researchers believe that it is an icy desert with no liquid water, a hostile environment where the average surface temperature is around negative 274 degrees Fahrenheit.
So why do they think that there's primitive life
Brr.
there?
Amazon Prime to exoplanet. I'm sure they're working on it.
Just 2 light years
Yeah.
shipping.
God, can you imagine if that were a thing? Like, if we were to, like, fast forward, we've colonized multiple planets, and you have, like, a delivery service that's going intergalactic, interstellar,
Yeah.
that's going from place to place. How much would you have to pay for fucking delivery? Seriously.
Oh, if you have
Like, oh, I'm
Amazon
just
Prime.
gonna order some takeout food from exoplanet 39B75C.
Like, hey, dude, you feel like takeout 2
I
years
don't know
from
why
now?
I did like robot hands with that, like C3PO or something. Like, ooh. Anyway,
I don't know why you do half the things you do.
I don't know either. Free shipping,
Peanut,
yeah, right.
Penis phone section 5, please. Free shipping. Be here in 4 years.
Let's see here.
Free shipping to Mars.
Yeah. But Villanova University astrophysicists announced on Thursday they believe that life could function in an unusual way on the frozen planet.
Am I talking like bacteria?
I'm getting there.
It's always like a cop-out when they talk about
The
bacteria.
announcement was made during the 233rd meeting of the American Astronomical Society in Seattle.
Ooh.
Beneath its frozen surface, Barnard Star B could have a hot liquid core of iron and nickel, which could support primitive life with geothermal activity. Geothermal heating could support life zones under its surface, akin to subsurface lakes found in Antarctica. We note that the surface temperature on Jupiter's icy moon Europa is similar to Barnard B, but because of the tidal heating, Europa probably has liquid oceans under its icy surface. They also believe that future telescopes could take a closer look at Barnard Star B. This would make it one of the only Earth-sized exoplanets nearby that could be imaged.
It said it was 3 times as big as our Earth, though, right?
3 times the mass of our Earth. That's not equate to size.
It's the size of Earth, but it weighs 3 times.
Not necessarily. It didn't say what the size is. It just said that it's 3 times the mass. Stand down, Cord. Stand down!
Sorry, we missed you. We missed your delivery. We put it under a rock.
Yeah.
So they're saying like animals under the surface, or are they saying like bacteria? Because I'm assuming they're saying between the iron and nickel core and the frozen surface, there's kind of like a what would you call it?
Because it's a molten core and it's an icy surface, what it's saying is that there's probably enough ice on the surface, but there's enough heat from within that some of that ice, the underneath layers of ice, could melt and form pockets of water, like what we see in Antarctica. Because there's places in Antarctica where there's
there's like hot springs.
God damn it. Where there's not hot springs, but like underground lakes. Fat Earth
began in those conditions, thermal.
Yeah, so I mean,
so basically,
I know that bacteria or whatever would not be exciting to you, but you gotta imagine that we started out that way.
Well, yeah, so they're basically saying that this planet is in its own ice age right now.
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
Now, unless something extreme happens, that's probably not going to change. But
unless we get there,
then that brings up the whole conversation about
nukes on that planet.
What do you call it? Terraforming.
Yeah.
That brings in the conversation of, well, just because a planet could support life, even in its current state, should we go on there? Should we terraform to make it suitable for us? Because, we've got the mentality that we just have billions of planets that we can move to once we're done with Earth and destroyed it.
What exactly is terraforming? Is it really just dropping nukes on the poles?
Terraforming has a few different forms.
I mean, if we can
it's
terraform
anything and
a planet,
everything that you can do to change the terrain or climate of a planet.
But if we have the ability to do that to another planet, why aren't we doing it to our own planet to save it? Why aren't we terraforming the climate here so we can just stay here?
There's actually quite a few people that are trying to do that.
But then you got people like Trump.
Not just Trump. There's, I think what it comes down to is in society today, whatever makes the most profit is what people are going to go with. Unfortunately, that means that like the cheapest form of energy to produce a product is probably not going to be good for the environment. So, for example, if I can use coal energy rather than wind energy or energy from like
Ocean
water
waves,
or whatever. I can't think of the
underwater
name of hydraulic
hydro.
whatever. Any other form of sustainable
I
energy.
think it's like hydro. It's hydro something. Anyways, basically, it's like windmills underwater in the ocean, and the waves turn the turbines, hydro turbines. There we go. I just made a word for it.
We're smart.
Correction, I'm smart. Anyways,
So that's terraforming can just be a number of things. HARP is already trying to affect climate. There was something to excuse me, where there was I forget all the details of it, but I remember a few years back there was discussion about a way to close up the growing hole in our ozone layer by doing something to the planet. It wasn't just like trying to reduce the greenhouse gases. It was more extreme than that. It was like, we need to do this to terraform our planet to close up the gap. It was now I'm gonna have to Google it.
Why haven't we invented an artificial ozone? You know how like the argument was like aerosol in like hairspray cans was like destroying the ozone. I'm sure a lot more than just that was destroying the ozone. But you know that idea.
Yes.
Why don't we just make ozone in a can, or like we all on the weekend or something just go out and spray ozone in the air, fills up the ozone hole. Is that crazy?
There are signs that ozone is repairing itself. Yes. Not to ignore you, but did you just say like an aerosol can?
Like obviously we want to use aerosol,
because you do realize that aerosol cans emit the carbofluorocarbon,
yeah,
or
that
something
destroys
like
the ozone.
that destroy the ozone.
I'm saying like Febreze doesn't
get her off your computer.
Febreze doesn't have aerosol in it.
Aerosol is the kind of can, like how they package the.
But like they don't do that for the Febreze though. They come in the plastic little.
Have you looked? No, don't go do it now. we're doing this thing called a podcast, you know.
All right, what'd you find?
I'm not really having a lot of luck. But I did want to follow up on what Zombie said, that yes, there have been recent reports about it appears that the ozone is repairing itself.
Is it just because we've cut back on pollution and things like that that is starting to finally heal itself?
Cord needs a book.
Cord needs a. Why do I need a book? I have plenty of books.
Cord goes, I'm smart. I'm smart. I don't need a book.
I'm just saying, it's 2019.
Book help reasoning. I love how you're talking like a caveman. Like, me, Cord.
He's
Cord
doing that thing where in Fallout, if you have zero intelligence, you
Cord
speak
strong.
like a caveman.
Cord strong.
I'm just saying, it's 2019. Why haven't we invented artificial ozone that we can just replace into the hole? My idea probably isn't the best idea about putting it into a can and spraying it on the weekends. But I'm saying, why haven't we figured out how to artificially fix the ozone layer? Just put human-made ozone material in there.
To be honest,
or something
I think
to plug that hole. Core spray can to repair ozone.
I think what it comes down to is, yes, there are people that are out there that are looking to fix these problems.
Could be on fire. Okay, all right, I get it. I'm not that smart. Jeez.
But I think that there's not a lot of money in it. There are people out there that are doing it, but I think a lot of people are, one, ignorant, blissfully ignorant. Like, they just...
Why does there have to be money in everything, though?
Because unfortunately, money makes
this
the
is
world go
It's
round.
threatening the existence of the planet and our
But people
race,
don't care.
Human
Like,
race.
people either they don't care, they either don't know, or they don't care, or both. They don't want to know or care.
Cord is sad.
Me sad, me cry now. There's a corner. Go. Just go. Just go away.
All right.
Go away.
Cord cut down a tree with a tree.
Cord as tall as tree.
That always puzzled the shit out of me when in Minecraft when you had to make an axe out of wood. Anyways, all right, enough tearing down Cord and his intelligence. Is there anything else?
On board Cord though, man. Am I right?
Money will end civilization. It's true. Anyways, anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. Is there any questions that you guys have for us in the chat?
For our 3 viewers here.
Which would be Zombie, Mr. Nevermind, and me.
Yeah. You'd think we'd have that. We usually have those like guys who just kind of hang out. They're like moderators, whatever.
Well, we
for the site.
had Fat Paws.
Oh yeah, we had Fat Paws. Mr. Young Lord. Oh, that was 6 days ago. Cord put out fire with lighter.
Let me just take this lighter fluid, dump it out. That'll put out the fire, right?
Fight fire with fire, right?
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see.
There you go.
Oh, hey, we do have an announcement to make, though.
Do we?
Yeah.
Is this announcement for me
It's
too?
super exciting. Yes.
Are you telling me something I don't want to hear?
No, you know about this.
Oh, okay. What is it? I thought you were going to tell me you were pregnant or something.
No.
Okay.
No. Not happening. Let's Discord some more. At first when I saw Discord, I'm thinking Discord as in like,
yeah, check
out our Discord. Link is going to be in the chat. There you go. That was totally a shameless plug. Sorry. But, while you're at it, don't forget to go check out that merch store.
They're not even working anymore?
It is.
Oh, no, it is.
It worked.
For some reason, it's just highlighted in red.
Yeah, I don't.
I guess it's only on OBS. Anyways, what's your announcement?
The announcement is we're gonna be here on Friday nights too, because we're gonna bring back Dungeons and Dragons.
We were?
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on streaming it.
What?
That was like the most boring. Nobody came to watch that stuff.
But you're a female service robot that is like
not everyone knows
a porn star.
Not everyone knows that.
That's gonna be so entertaining, and I'm like
that was supposed to be a surprise for me.
And I'm like a badass secret. He's not watching right now. I'm like a badass secret agent. Like, come on.
We're playing a futuristic setting. It's a science. It's like the 5th edition. I don't know much about D&D other than how to play. But I am like she said, a service robot that basically means that I'm a prostitute android. And I'm a captain, so...
I mean, service robot, just like I've seen his movies.
I've seen his movies.
You know all the trademark moves.
So, it's going to be fun. I'm basically just going to be, like, offering Nixit, like, pleasure things all the time. Just to distract them.
And one of the little snippet is, you're really good at inspiring people. Mm-hmm. Which makes them perform better in D&D. So
I thought you said you were done, Musty.
What the joke is that because you are a female service robot that is really good at what she does, feels like she has to be at the best thing, like the best at her skill.
Yeah.
But she also oh God, what was it? What was the...
I'm offended if you don't know of me.
Yeah, you're offended if you haven't heard about your abilities. Mm-hmm. And if there's anybody there,
If there's anyone else who's also a service robot, then I have to outperform them.
You have to like throw down on the spot.
Yeah. So. It's
Oh
gonna be
my
funny.
god!
It's gonna be interesting.
And your name. Are you gonna reveal your name?
My name is Fuckatron 500, but I go by Fiona because my owner wanted me to have a more human name. Or my creator.
I haven't came up with a name.
You haven't come up with a name yet?
No, I just realized
Or a
that.
backstory?
No, I have a backstory.
Did you see
No,
what
actually, I
Zombie
don't.
said?
Cord pretend him science officer. Cord make boom boom for credits. Yeah. I am going to be. I don't have a name yet. I haven't figured that out yet. I don't.
So I guess we're streaming this Friday.
I figured it. Sorry.
7:30. Well, I mean, I guess we can. It's just no.
Fiona Vagina competitive.
I guess we can stream it. It's just nobody really like people come in, but then they get
I
bored.
figured you got that message when I said that. Remind me to work on the overlay for D&D.
I figured you just wanted to do like the internet view.
No,
So
why would you do that?
Hi.
Why? Oh, that was weird.
I like Fuckatron.
I don't have a name yet, but I am going to be a cyborg Earthborn
Aren't you like an assassin?
special agent. I'm basically a really souped up assassin that is really good at deception and persuasion and strength and all of
It's
that.
gonna be funny because I'm just gonna go the whole time and try to fuck with people and just fuck up everything.
Oh, we were talking about
While
how
you guys are trying to be like serious about
Yeah.
it.
we were talking about how you were gonna inspire people with your tits. That's what we were
My
talking
tits
about.
that were machine guns.
Yes, your laser. No, they were lasers. Your laser gun
Yeah,
tits, like your nipples turned into lasers.
that's right. Just like in what was it called?
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers.
The fembots.
Fiona must lubricate.
I find it funny that a man is playing like the most overtly sexual character in that game. Just saying.
Well, I just thought it'd be hilarious.
I mean, power to you, whatever. I'm all about equality. You have your chance to do what you want. The feminist part of me that's like, I don't.
Here, hold on.
I
Let me
don't.
see if I can.
Can you drop the picture in the chat? Is that going to be allowed on Twitch?
It's in the. I can put it in the Discord if you guys want to check out the Discord.
Yeah, we'll. If you go
must
into
stream
our
it.
Discord, I will put.
All right, if Musty wants me to stream it, I'll stream it. It's gonna be Fridays at 7:30 p.m.
One more time, there's the Discord link. We'll post it here shortly.
Yeah, I gotta walk. Wait, hold on. I gotta get the picture first.
But yeah. So, and we're gonna play with Nixit and Kalhaya, and we'll also play with Shout or Fluffy, depending on which account he's on. And we will also copy link. We will also be playing with
I can
Shout's
just put the link in the chat. Here,
friend
actually.
Beeps as well. So
Beeps.
we will have quite a few people involved in this, so we'll have lots of different input.
There you guys go. There's a picture of that represents my character. Pretty awesome, I would say.
Oh my god, it's so bad. You should put my picture in there. Since you're already there.
Gotta put lure lines.
Yeah, my girl's badass. She's hot.
Okay.
So here's my character, the second link.
Yeah, there's Laura Lines. Let me, we got 10 minutes till we're 2 hours.
Anybody have any questions in chat?
Yeah, we got any questions? You guys want to talk on
Do you like
Discord?
a little ask me anything?
AMA or Q&A?
Why is there wait, I can't see. Why is there a bloody hand next to you? Because I like killing people, taking their hands, And
Is that like your little trophy for killing?
yeah.
And just cut the
And
paw off?
my character
Like a
flaw,
poacher?
everybody in D&D has a character flaw. Mine is that I'm so ruthless that I am okay with somebody going to jail for a crime that I committed.
I mean, that's pretty
I
ruthless, but I don't feel like it's as ruthless as you tried to make it feel like it was. Like, I thought you were going to go, I don't care if I have to kill you, or I don't care if I have to sacrifice you.
well, you know what?
Instead, you're like, I don't care if you go to jail.
Yeah, I don't care if you go to jail. That's my character flaw. But
Mine's I always have to be the best.
yeah, that you have to challenge anybody that like threatens your abilities. Fiona collects space STIs.
I'm a android. I can't
Yeah,
get
if you-
STIs.
And now that you guys have seen my picture, if you have any suggestions for names for my character, let me know.
All right.
I don't want to do Loreline because I already go by Loreline everywhere else. So
You should go with Fuckatron 400.
no, remember we joked about I should go with Fuckatron 600 because then I would be a model newer than you and we'd always have to fight each other.
Cord run.
One time might be a hand, another time might be your dick that I cut off. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I'm a dick. I'm a female.
Well, okay, fair.
All right. If you want to see
Nick
D&D
said, better watch out.
Friday, 7:30 p.m. We're starting this Friday. I guess we'll stream it here on the podcast. Otherwise, yep. I'm liking this Thursdays at 6. If you guys like it, let us know. Fuckatron 500 built for milking. Jesus Christ. Yeah. We need some help getting our name out there. We're starting to get a little more famous. We got like 22 more followers overnight, but we need some more. We need to figure out how to translate Instagram followers to our Twitch followers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, much appreciated. I know Musty's out there doing a great job letting everyone know about us, and we really appreciate that, Musty. Mr. Nevermind, you need to step up your fucking game, man.
He supports us by tuning in every single week. He is here every single week. Don't you go knocking on him.
I'm planning on working on taking
I got you.
Intro song that we made with the new Loreline piece in it and turning it into our new intro. Loreline's Loreline.
That's my impression. There you go.
Loreline or Julie's working on a new outro. I hope it's going to be
I am.
just as great as the
I
one
am.
Otherwise, guys, check out the merch store. Tell your friends. Throw up our name on anything and everything. You can even take a Sharpie and write your name in the local toilet at your pub or whatever.
Not in the toilet, like.
I actually did that once.
Oh my god.
At McKinney's pub.
Don't say the name of it. God damn it.
McKinney's pub in Haymarket.
Oh my god.
They have the thing where you sign your name and you put it you write something on $1 and you put it up on the wall.
Yeah, you did. You did do that.
We did that a long time ago, but then I also took a permanent marker and wrote it in the toilet's walls.
Wow. Way to confess to vandalism. And
a lot of other people did it.
And not the toilet walls, like the.
No, in the urinal. It's probably washed off by now. It's been a while, but.
All right.
Take a permanent marker. Or better yet, go to the merch store and get these stickers and then slap that shit up around town. Otherwise, everyone, we wish you to have a beautiful rest of your Thursday and or Friday morning, depending on whatever location you're in.
Or Saturday, too, because you never know. They could be listening on later.
That's true.
You just have a good day, whatever day it is, whenever you're listening, whatever
quickly,
time zone.
We get a lot more listeners, don't we? From other countries.
We do, especially on SoundCloud. We've been getting a lot of plays on SoundCloud lately. I believe, let me go check the latest stats and see hot off the press. I don't know what that was. You're welcome.
I think we're doing good. We do good in Chicago.
Actually, so out of the stats, all-time plays. All-time plays. We've got. So first off, our most popular episode is our gun control episode with Musty, which was episode 13. Also, so top countries, the United States wins by far, but we do have quite a few viewers the listeners in the Netherlands and in Mexico. Are our next two top countries. Amsterdam is our top city. Actually beats out Lincoln, Nebraska, where we're located.
Yeah, and then our third city is Chicago.
Yes, so we've got quite a few listeners from all over. If we didn't name your city or country, that's okay. Just make sure to tell your friends so that you can get mentioned. You can get in that top area there.
So thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to help a brother out, help a podcast out, get our name out there, tell your friends. Musty's doing a great job.
So is Mr. Nevermind. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, Mr. Nevermind
coming in and watching, chatting. That's all we could ever ask for.
Coming in and chatting, and also working on songs for us. Everyone, check out the merch store. We love you. Have a great rest of your day. Here's the outro. I'm going to shut this mic off real quick. Let's wave goodbye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
But for today, we're talking about Mars. We're talking about Mars. And he's like, ah! I shouldn't do that. I could have gone more, but I'm just gonna end it there.
That's pretty good. I'm just going to say something that might piss off a lot of people.
Yeah.
I feel like the pork tastes just like the chicken.